Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 9th. You have this masked card. It says true feelings are masked. You also have this talisman. It says you are destined to succeed. So I love that, especially if you're trying to accomplish something, if you're trying to do something here. Yeah, I kind of feel this feeling of like forward progress in general, even though you don't have any cards yet that would represent forward progress. Even the Three of Wands it can be kind of a card of expansion and growth and, all this other stuff, but it's not necessarily a card of progress. He needs to make progress. He needs to get out into the world and go do things. But let's see what we get for you. Almost everyone has had the Tower again, so I wouldn't even worry about the Tower. I just did an interview with a podcast, and I did a collective reading on that podcast, and the Tower came up in the collective reading, which is kind of funny. But again, I think that Pluto's gone back to 29 degrees. It's retrograding into Capricorn, and it's at 29 degrees, which is critical degree. Definitely can cause Tower moments, and I think it can cause the type of Tower moments that the Tower causes, which are coming back to reality. The Capricorn 29 degrees, all about the truth and the truth coming out. So I think we will see a lot of truths being revealed at this time. And I think on a personal level, for us individually, it's important that we live our truth. And if we do that, then we will be perfectly fine. But you have the Two of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. The Two of Cups can be a perfect match. And yeah, there definitely could be a connection coming in for you. You end with the Knight of Cups. You have the Page of Wands as well, and the Ace of Cups also. So there could be a connection coming in for you. Really, I feel that the Two of Cups is your higher self. Sometimes I feel with this card that it's you and your higher self, and your higher self is communicating with you through like dreams, daydreams, just sign symbols, synchronicities, things like that. And I would pay attention to what your higher self is saying. You have the Three of Wands, kind of interesting message here as well. I feel that if you are feeling that you need to move away from something, that you could be avoiding a Tower moment. So if you get this feeling that you need to make a shift or a change, then making that change, I actually feel like it's going to make you look like a genius. Let's say you're working with a group of people, or let's say you have a job and you're thinking, I need to get out of here. Like if you have that feeling, I feel like the Three of Wands is saying, start looking. Don't just up and quit. Not a good time to like up and quit a job or anything like that. But I think that if you could start looking for something else, that you're going to look like a genius to the people around you where you decide to make a change. It's like one of those things. It's like sometimes I think we work somewhere and it's not working, and maybe you can see it before everyone else. And I feel this is really actually saying, trust your instincts at this time, because your instincts are correct. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles kind of says it's like time for a change. The Seven of Pentacles, he's looking at those pentacles that he has grown in front of him, and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Was it worth it for me to put all this time, effort, and energy into what I'm doing, or is there something better that I could be doing with my time? And I feel a lot of you are kind of like asking that question. I think a lot of people in general are asking this question right now, but I think that you could be one of them that is asking it more. You also have Jupiter in your sign, and Jupiter is all about expansion. So if you're doing something in your life that is not expansive, you're probably going to reject it or look for something else. With the Two of Cups, you have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is like disappointment, or having been disappointed by a lover or a love offer in the past. It's kind of like a weird love reading, I'm going to say that. We have this. We go Ace of Cups to the Nine of Swords to the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is coming up in the area of the good stuff, which would be good. But again, there could be some fears that if you do get into a new connection, that you're going to repeat the same things that you have repeated, in the past again. And so I'm still not sure how I feel about this. And you also have the Tower to the Nine of Swords to the Chariot. This isn't really so bad because, again, like I said, on the Three of Wands, it kind of feels to me like you are escaping a Tower moment, or moving away from something that is causing a Tower moment or could cause a Tower moment. We'll have to see. With the Three of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. Yeah, moving away from a heartbreak. Three of Swords is more about forgiveness and kind of forgiving situations in your heart. So those three swords are in your own heart, and the whole point of this card is to forgive yourself or forgive the situation so that you can move forward. And I feel that would be a great thing. And, one little thing that I will say as well is for you, Gemini, I do think that it's an important time to keep an eye on your health. And so I am not a doctor. I have no clue what I'm talking about. But what I would say is I would make sure that you're staying healthy at this time. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, Three of Pentacles is putting yourself in a position where you can receive recognition, right? He is being recognized for quality work. The Three of Pentacles represents the fact that he has done a good job. He has done quality work on what he has been working on and created in front of him, and he is receiving recognition for that. So I feel for a lot of you that it's a really good time for you to do things in work or business or career or even other areas of your life where you can receive recognition or where you can stand out. So if you're doing something like I said earlier, if you're working with a group of people and you're not receiving recognition, it might be time, that might be the clue to make a change. Next, in the area of what's coming towards you, you have this barrier card and this ego card. So this, the Two of Cups can also represent ego because there's that lion at the top of the Two of Cups. And, there could be this barrier, but, there could be some sort of moment where your ego comes into play. I'm not saying you have an ego. I think we all have an ego. Every single spiritual teacher I've ever listened to that says, get rid of the ego has an enormous ego. So, I think we need an ego to survive in the first place. That's the whole point of being in the 3D, right? But I think having a healthy ego is important. I also think what's important is is kind of balancing our own ego. There are certain things that we do that I think are ego based, like not getting started on something, right? Sometimes I think perfectionism is a form of ego, right? And so I feel that's more what this is talking about, and also the Tower. And so sometimes we have a Tower moment in life to show us how unimportant we are, and it puts things into perspective. And, again, if you're trying to be perfect and you have a Tower moment that forces you to do something without being perfect, then you are kind of overcoming the ego, right, so to speak. So I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of what I'm getting on the Tower. Again, everyone's had the Tower. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I also feel that, again, if you have one of those things where you're almost seeing the future, where you're I need to get out of this situation, whether it's a job or a business or whatever, I feel like you are going to be seen as being a genius in the future because, again, I think that you could be avoiding something that's going to happen, and obviously that would be a good thing. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles should be giving you confidence in this reading, I feel. Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness, and she has a lot of resources at her disposal. So I feel for a lot of you, this is kind of saying trust your resources or use your resources so that you can be more successful moving forward. And, again, this resources might not be money, but if you're trying to create something, it could say that you have talents, gifts, skills, abilities, knowledge, wisdom, all those things that you could use to make something very successful. I also feel pretty good about money in this reading. So again, if you have that you are destined to succeed card at the beginning, kind of reminds me of the Ace of Pentacles as well. And she has this one big pentacle that she's holding on to. So if you're looking at a new opportunity, I feel it's destined to succeed. You have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing and would be love, true love. But this could also be your inner truth. Remember what we said at the beginning with that, your true feelings are masked. The Tower is about coming down to reality and seeing reality for what it is. It's like about embracing the truth, and Pluto and Capricorn is about embracing the truth. So I feel like the Ace of Cups is really saying what it says to everyone, which is follow your heart, and make sure you're doing more things that fill your heart. And that could be fun things, spending time with family, doing hobbies, all that other stuff. And I say this to everyone because I think it's really important right now that we really fill our heart. With the Tower, you have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, this could be the disappointment that you've experienced in the past. So if you had a Tower moment with a person who is a liar, cheater, stealer, that could be the thing that you need to heal from. The Nine of Swords would also say, make sure that you move away from whatever this situation is or was, and make sure that you don't repeat the situation, right? With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Fool. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith in a new direction, which it kind of looks like you're doing that because we go from the Tower down to the Nine of Swords and the Chariot. The chariot driver is leaving behind everything that he knows. He is leaving behind the city that he has come from, and he's moving in a completely new direction. So I think like moving in a new direction could be a good idea. Yeah, with the Ace of Cups, you have the Six of Cups. It's like, what haven't you been doing that you used to do is really what I feel like saying here. The Six of Cups is a very childlike energy. It represents your inner child, but the inner child is being protected by this like guard over here, and also these two children are inside of a castle, so they are being protected by the castle's walls that are around them. And so sometimes I feel like the Six of Cups is not talking about the past. Sometimes I feel like it's not talking about nostalgia, but in a certain way it is. It's saying that you had certain dreams, or maybe years ago you had certain dreams that you wanted to accomplish or manifest, and the Six of Cups is trying to remind you, I feel intuitively, is trying to remind you of those things that you were like originally wanted to do. And I feel this right here is saying, do it. Next, you can't make this up. You have this Time Is Now card. It's time to act now. I think I just said this in the first row. Without hesitation, move past the old and move forward. Yes, the Tower is saying like the past is dead, done, over with is probably what it's saying. And it's just saying embrace a new reality. You have this Inner Goddess card. It says, express your divine feminine energy and loving wisdom will transform your life. So you are transforming your life. You have the Seven of Wands, this Nine of Swords, and the Page of Wands. The Seven of Wands is feeling like you're not ready. The Seven of Wands, he has these, like a shoe and a boot on his foot. And the story of the Seven of Wands is that he had to rush out of his house, and he feels like he isn't really ready to defend his position at the top of the hill. And so sometimes I feel that the Seven of Wands in a reading is just saying that you, the person I'm reading for, might not feel like you are fully ready to do something, but the Seven of Wands kind of says you are as ready as you're going to be. So I feel it's kind of time for you to get out of something. Nine of Swords, which we'll talk about in a minute. You also have the Three of Wands, and Three of Wands says to me, like, what are you waiting for? So I feel for a lot of you, it really is time to kind of like get moving on something. You have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare, but the Nine of Swords says, with the Tower, really, those two together kind of say, like, how much more painful does a situation need to get before you make a change? You might not be in a painful situation, but you might be stuck in a little bit of a comfort zone with the Nine of Swords, where it's like you're doing the same thing day in, day out. And so the Nine of Swords says, like, pick one thing to change and make a change, And even on the podcast that I was just on, I said to them, they asked, like, what's the biggest thing that made the most improvement on your channel? And I said 1% improvements, literally learning one new thing a day and implementing it in my life. So, and I still do it, still to this day. So I think that the Nine of Swords, sometimes we're just stuck doing the same thing every single day, and we want to see an improvement, but we also have a hard time. And I feel like the Nine of Swords says, start small. Like, if you have a hard time getting motivated, which I get it, I get not being motivated to, believe it or not, to not doing something that will improve your life. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that perfectionism, like we were talking about, where they're trying to be perfect. But the Nine of Swords just says, take a tiny little step every single day, and before you know it, you'll be making big leaps. You have the Fool here. You have the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is about going on an adventure, being enthusiastic for your adventure as well. So if you're thinking about making a change or doing something new in your life, the Page of Wands says, follow your enthusiasm. That is the thing that will lead you towards the most success. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Eight of Wands, quick success. Like, you feel like you're not ready, but actually things will move forward much faster than you think, is what the Eight of Wands says. The Eight of Wands is really about pointing in a direction as well. And so we have some things from the past. The Tower right behind it, I feel, could be a Tower moment from the past. But it's like, if you have things that are pointing in opposite directions, you're being pulled in opposite directions. I think it's more important to stack your thoughts in one direction towards one thing, so that you're not being pulled in, multiple directions. That's what I feel like that's saying. Here you go. You cannot make this up. You, with the Nine of Swords, you have the Six of Pentacles. Literally my card of planting a seed, like just taking that tiny little step. I say this all the time on the Six of Pentacles, that it says, take a tiny little step towards your goal, wish, or dream. See what happens. If it works, great. Keep going. Take another step. If it doesn't work, try something else and see what happens. Six of Pentacles is all about cause and effect. And I think that's what will, change your life the fastest right now. Especially, this kind of gives me the feelings of trying to start something new. Excuse me. So it's giving me the feelings of trying to start something new. And sometimes when we're starting something new, it looks enormous. It looks like we're trying to, we have all these things that we're trying to think about accomplishing. And it feels like we're never going to get there. But if we just take the first step and then the next step and the next step, eventually we will accomplish our goal. And we go down to the Chariot, which is a card of accomplishing your goal. So I would definitely get moving. With the Page of Cups, you have the Nine of Cups. What I feel here is that your energy is correct. I kind of get this. Nine of Cups is about bathing in an energy of what you want. But all I'm hearing off of this card is that your energy is correct. You are everything is on point, maybe except for your mindset, maybe, or your feelings. Maybe you need a little bit of tweaking. Maybe you need to kind of heal those feelings that tell you that you're not good enough, or that you can't do something, or that you're not going to be able to accomplish something, or that something is too enormous, right? And I feel if you could work on those things, that will help the most. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this dark side of the moon. It says mystery. You have this ring around the moon. It says protection. We're in a little bit of a time of a mystery, and I feel a lot of people are feeling like they don't know what will happen if they get started. And, well, that's always true, but I just think it's a little bit worse right now. I think people are having a hard time, almost seeing the future. And what I would say is you are protected, and I would get going anyway. You have the Knight of Cups, Two of Swords, and the Chariot. Knight of Cups can be a knight in shining armor. So it could be love, and there is a little bit of love here, but I feel like your focus in this reading is much bigger picture. It's not just love. So the Knight of Cups can be a dream, and all he has to do is start planting seeds in front of that water, Six of Pentacles, and those seeds will grow. So I feel it's time for you to start planting seeds. You have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords represents this or that thinking, and Two of Swords has this island behind her, which I always say is like a third place solution. It's a solution that she hasn't thought of yet. So I feel a lot of you could be kind of like, since this is showing up in the area of the good stuff, I feel that you could be discovering really solid new solutions, or really good solutions for the problems that you're dealing with, or for the things that you are dealing with as well. The other thing I'm getting here is that, like, I kind of feel like you aren't going to realize how good you are at doing something unless you do it. And I'm pretty sure I said something about kind of like comparing yourself to other people in this reading, and if I didn't, then I definitely feel part of the problem is that you could be looking at people in your life and saying, they've been successful with whatever it is that they are doing by doing all these little things, but I don't like to do things that way. And I feel like the Two of Swords is saying you need to realize that your way is the successful way, more successful way, but you also have to do it to prove it. And I kind of get a little bit of that prove it energy on the Two of Swords. You have the Chariot. The Chariot also confirms what I just said, because the Chariot, he is leaving the city behind him and he's moving in a new direction, and he doesn't really know where he's going. Again, it's a mystery, but he is in perfect alignment with what he wants. He has these stars up here, these moons right here, and it says that he is in perfect alignment with what he is about to accomplish, but he needs to set out and accomplish those things. He needs to go and, put himself in positions where he is setting himself apart, where he is doing things differently. But definitely could be like a victory coming in for you. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Strength card. I feel like you've been very patient. Strength is a display of strength. Like, she is showing off. People are seeing her taming this lion, and so she is kind of doing a display of strength. And you have the Three of Pentacles as well. The Three of Pentacles is about showing your work. So I think it could be a great time for you to show your work, or to show, how good you are at doing something that you are working on. With the Two of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. Again, I feel there is an improvement in your finances. This is coming up in the good stuff. So the Five of Pentacles could actually represent you discovering like a new way to make money, or a better way to make money. And in this reading, we said before that it kind of seems to me like you are setting yourself apart, or you could be leaving a work situation with the Tower and expanding and doing something that like makes you more money. Can't make this up. With the Chariot, you have the Ace of Pentacles. You basically start and end with the Ace of Pentacles. That talisman card says you're destined to succeed. So really, I feel this is very similar. I feel like the Ace of Pentacles here is saying that you have a skill or something that you're doing that could make you very successful. But obviously, you're going to have to like do it and put yourself out there. You have this tent card. It says temporary situation. Yeah, if you're worried about the tower or if you are experiencing a tower moment, like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I feel like some of you are dealing with some sort of tower moment, that, this is a temporary situation, won't last forever. You have this beetle card. It says good fortune on it. So there clearly are good fortunes coming in for you. The whole entire reading kind of says that your fortunes are turning in your favor. So I definitely feel good fortune. You have this man card. It says dealings or relationships with a man. You have this club card. It says someone will try to make you do something against your will. So I would avoid people who are trying to make you do something and, stick up for yourself. I feel a lot of people need to do this right here, right now. I feel like there's a lot of that type of energy where, it's kind of like the energy of there might be certain people in your life that for them to be okay, they need you to do certain things, and I avoid those people like the plague. It's like the only person that can make you okay is yourself. So whenever I have people who are like, I need you to do this, I'm like, nope, not doing it. I'm going to avoid you for the rest of my life because you are the type of person that you need other people to do things to make yourself okay, and that's not okay. So I would avoid that type of person. You have this bag card. It says something important such as a new job or a raise. We talked about this the entire time. So definitely could be like a new job or a raise. You have this hand card. It says, in need of help, assistance, or guidance. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help. 3 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles, he's doing everything on his own. 3 of Pentacles is getting assistance from others, so it would be an amazing time for that. But this is a really good reading in a lot of ways. I think the tower moment could be a little heavy, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.